What is up, YouTube, and welcome to this another Marvel video for you here, coming from Superhero Nexus. We will also be doing a Star Wars Clone Wars video as well, so if you are interested in the Clone Wars, please drop a like on this video and do subscribe to keep up to date there on everything Star Wars Clone Wars, because I've pretty much binged the whole series and now I've watched a new episode because I was hyped for the Siege of Mandalore, which just is amazing. But Marvel news does not freaking end there. So we've had some interesting rumors come out that Captain Marvel will actually be leading the charge in the new Avengers. So there's a huge word now that Captain Marvel, Carol Danvers herself, will actually be leading the new team. So I've talked about this for quite some time here, that we will be getting a new super team, and that is going to be the Young Avengers. Now, it seems like that is just being set up in the movies and the TV shows, and it would be really cool to have the TV shows have their own sort of, I would say, a super team, so those TV shows could actually cap off and have a blow-off like Phase 1 did, which was, of course, the Avengers. Now, curiously, being tapped for a new super team of Fantastic Four is actually Joss Whedon. So that leaves Joss Whedon out of being or directing anything else. But the new Avengers is big. The new Avengers is a big one because obviously the super team hasn't really been on the cards, and we haven't had any word of a new Avengers movie. Now, obviously, Captain America has retired. We have had your boy himself, Spider. He's just living his life. Iron Man's dead. Natasha Romanoff is dead. Hawkeye is probably having some well-deserved family time, so it doesn't look like we're actually going to be getting any sort of Avengers anytime soon, which would why it makes sense in 2022 we'll see a new Avengers setup, and that gives us time. And I think considering that last year we had the cap off to Avengers, I think having some time away from the Avengers, having some solo teams actually works pretty well. And let's not forget that the entirety of Phase 1 was to set up the next lot of the Avengers. Now, the new Avengers has a huge amount of different members that have actually been in that. And we've had people like Ronin, obviously, Hawkeye. We've had Spider-Man, who was notoriously, is he going to be an Avenger, is he an Avenger? And he was obviously in this team. And we've had quite a few different new Avengers for quite a while, because obviously we had the post-Civil War team, we had the Marvel Now initiative, and we had the Marvel Legacy initiative as well. This has led to multiple different teams, most notably involving War Machine, Falcon, Captain Marvel, and things like that. And of course, Spider-Man at one point actually funded the Avengers as well. So if he is actually having has a lot of money coming from Iron Man or his legacy, or he's supposed to live on to the Iron Man legacy, well, it wouldn't be out of the realms of possibility that he actually helps fund this team in some way, shape, or form. But Captain Marvel having this team and leading this team works very, very well, and I think that it is possibly the natural choice for that. And having all of these shows lead up to it, the big people such as Winter Soldier, Falcon, and many others such as Spider-Man and Thor, or seeing them be involved in this is really, really cool. And it also gives Marvel time to actually introduce more Earth-based characters, because of course we're actually getting some of the rights back from the Netflix show. So Luke Cage, of course, was in the new Avengers, sorry. Iron Fist was also in the Avengers as well. So seeing this all works it does actually make a complete and utter lot of sense in my opinion. So it gives us time for these shows to come back and gives time for Marvel to really set this up, because setting up the new Avengers, the Avengers is over $1 billion franchise. It is huge. So they're not going to go away from the Avengers whatsoever. And to be honest, having an Avengers level hole inside Phase 4, that is a shame there. But having her in Phase 5, setting that up, and I think that Phase 4 will be some sort of aftermath and a real kind of epilogue in somewhat to Avengers Endgame, which I just rewatched as well, and I absolutely loved it. Absolutely loved it again. I didn't really like it that much when I first saw it, but watching it again has kind of changed my mind, and I think that we're going to need a huge aftermath for that, just like the original Avengers needed a setup. Of course, Captain America set up pretty much the entirety of the Avengers there in the post-credit when he wakes up and things like that, and during that as well with S.H.I.E.L.D. and giving us that kind of insight into what's coming next. But let's not forget that Captain Marvel was actually the inspiration for the Avengers. It was the Avengers project, and it was, or Nick Fury got the idea from her. So considering the fact that Modern S.H.I.E.L.D. was set up from Captain America, the Avengers and the next Avengers will be set up there from Captain Marvel too. Now, where will this actually go? What will they do in this? And I expect that obviously there was a huge relaunch of the Avengers a couple of years ago, and this led to the Celestials being villains. And personally, I think that's where they're going to go next. The Eternals will set up the Celestials. We'll see that again in Guardians of the Galaxy and Thor: Love and Thunder, possibly in the background in that movie. But I think Guardians of the Galaxy 3 will give us a lot more insight into that. So I think that we'll see Captain Marvel maybe set up her own version of S.W.O.R.D., which was the spacefaring version of S.H.I.E.L.D., and they'll have their base, and we'll see some sort of Alpha Flight or some sort of similar to that mixed up and merged with S.W.O.R.D. And there have been rumours of S.W.O.R.D. actually coming to the MCU. So I think the Celestials is the big part, of course, as well. And let's not forget that Daredevil will be coming back, and there's rumours that it is coming back sooner than later in the year than we expected. It's going to be just a couple of days until that is actually back under the MCU wing, which we'll see. I'm expecting Charlie Cox to continue his role. And let's not forget that these TV shows was meant to connect. So I can't see them redoing the whole show and recasting everyone. I can see them bringing these characters in, and Iron Fist himself, if he came back in as well, would fit very well with Shang-Chi. But expect an announcement for Daredevil to actually come back into the fold. So I can see Daredevil actually being involved in some way, shape or form with everything that happens so far. But do you want to see Captain Marvel? Are you excited to see where this goes next? Because let's not actually forget that we never saw much of her past. And while seeing a prequel was pretty cool, I want to see where we go next. I want to see what space looks like and things like that. If it's a sequel, that would be a bit of a shame. But they can easily set it up, or set up the new Avengers there in that movie as a post-credit scene. And I'm expecting it to be a post-credit scene and not be a full sort of, I would say, set up just for that, like Ant-Man and the Wasp was just a setup for Endgame to explain the MacGuffin of why anything happens at the end there. But Phase 5, I think, will definitely be where we see Avengers. We've seen most of Phase 4. However, let's not forget that they do like to add films, and the last phase we've just had was kept getting extended non-stop. So expect Phase 4 to go on for quite a while if we keep adding these in and if these rumours keep coming out from this. But Captain Marvel leading that is really, really cool. And I think that where we'll go next is just very, very exciting as a fan. And personally, let me know what you want to think, what you want to see down below in that, and what kind of movies and TV content you want from here. Don't forget to follow us on Twitch, twitch.tv/superhero nexus. We're there streaming every single day. Now, one other thing which I absolutely forgot to add to this video is the fact that we've got a Disney sing-along tonight, and that's really curious. I mean, a lot of these studios are actually trying to introduce a bit more. Now, interestingly, Hugh Jackman has also had an interview today with the Daily Beast talking about his new film, Bad Education, which looks really, really good. It says Bad Education. I don't really know much about the movie, but I know the TV show Bad Education here in the UK was really, really good. I loved it. But he's basically said in this interview, talking about how he was great in Logan, there's a lot of possibilities. He says that totally, honestly, my life 7 years ago that had happened, I'd be like, oh yeah, but I knew it was the right time for me to leave the party, not just for me, but for the character. Somebody else will pick it up and run with it. It's too good of a character. It's kind of like you're on your way home and your friend rings you and goes, oh dude, a new JJ came on and the music is awesome, are you going to come back? And you say, no, sounds good, but no, they're totally fine with someone else. So it seems like he's had discussions with Disney about they probably tried to get him come back, but he's just like, yeah, nah fam, I'm good, I'm gonna just go home and eat a kebab. I don't imagine that he ever actually eats kebabs, but that's what we do here in the UK. I just really love a kebab. But that's it, he's not coming back. He's basically said he's not coming back, but things can change, can't they? But that's it. Live stuff. We have the Tiger King special on Netflix, which was really, really curious, and it just basically featured people wearing AirPods talking like they were on a Zoom chat or something like that. So what we're having now is a Disney sing-along, and Marvel have hinted that true Disney fans stay to the end of the credits. So that could be them actually hinting towards a trailer for something within the MCU. Now, that's probably more likely going to be an established product which has already been filmed and pretty much completed, which would be Falcon and the Winter Soldier and WandaVision, possibly WandaVision as well. So we're going to be getting something like that, which is really, really cool. So let me know in the comments what you want to see, what trailers you want to see, or what kind of tease do you actually want to see. Now, one other thing is the fact that She-Hulk and Spider-Man may be crossing over. Now, their filming dates almost actually overlap. Now, that's curious because, well, Spider-Man needs a lawyer. So who is this lawyer actually going to be? Well, let's not forget that Jennifer Walters is a lawyer, and she in Civil War 2, she was a lawyer in there as well. So considering the fact that she was a lawyer in that, and she's basically that's part of her alter ego, and the synopsis mentions that she's incredibly intelligent, this seems like an absolutely natural fit to have Jennifer Walters to play that role. So let me know in the comments, what do you think on that? But the fact that I've mentioned here that Daredevil is returning to Marvel a lot sooner than expected, and considering that these movies were actually going to film in July, that leads me to believe that we may get a Daredevil Easter egg in Spider-Man 3. So obviously this is going to all be set possibly in a courtroom in some way, shape or form, some sort of court-based action. And well, if the fact that he lives in New York, it would be foolish not to have Daredevil represent him or be on the council for possibly Spider-Man. Jennifer Walters, She-Hulk, will be interesting to be a defender, maybe for the state. Maybe she plays a state prosecutor and she's actually against Spider-Man, which would be really, really funny. I can see a really kind of intelligent, strong female character going up against Spider-Man would be hilarious to watch, and seeing Matt Murdock and crew actually try and to defend Spidey there, but I imagine his mouth would cause him a lot of problems. So let me know what you think in the comments down below. So that's it for this video. Please drop a like, please subscribe. I'll see you soon. Goodbye.